All right, what is up, everyone, and welcome back to episode number 25. We've made it a quarter way to the goal I want to set. So let's talk about what we're doing here. As you can see, there's a little bit difference from here as to where we left it off at the end of last episode. So let's just quickly tour around it and see what I've done. So in this first part here, we have the wall that stretches across the entire width of the opening of this kind of box canyon we made. And then we have a rope bridge going across. So this is what I envision. Like, there's a fight in here. Some people come stand up here to watch it. Some people are on the hills. But everyone's got a different view of it from which they watch it. And as you can see, we're very popular at the moment. But you can also see right over there, if we zoom in a bit, I've made some very makeshift stands, and that's kind of how I want them to look. This is supposed to be some raider camp. They don't have proper infrastructure. They didn't build anything too well. They just kind of slapped it all together. They're all a little crazy. And so the inspiration for this whole build here is a Mad Max, Fallout, Raiders kind of vibe going on there. And I think so far we've accomplished that. We have a very janky bridge that has just some stuff hanging off here and there that we can put some more decorations to give it even more of that raider vibe to it. And then, as I just mentioned, very precarious little stands here. You can walk all the way around them, but yeah, there's no safety. You walk too far forward, you fall off the edge. Simple as that. But where I want to start out here today is getting this whole area properly spawn proof so that only mobs only pillagers will spawn inside this ring here. So let's quickly hop over to my creative world where I can show you more or less what that entails. So it's exact copy of this, I'm just in creative. So let's go there right now. All right, here we are in that survival world, and I've created a little hole in this area about to the same distance we flattened it in our survival world. And as you can see right here, we have this bounding box, and this is thanks to Mini HUD. So this main structure in the middle right here is the pillager outpost, and then we have some smaller structures on the ground here. So this first one here is the archery range. We have some wood piles here and here. We have the little scarecrows in these two spots, a tent, and a cage, just like we had in our other world. And we're at the same coordinates and everything here. And as you see right there, I have two command blocks set up. This first one, whenever a pillager spawns, it's going to turn that block below it into a diamond block. This one, it's going to kill the pillager. So what we're going to do here is, you'll notice once I turn this to hard, a lot of pillagers do not spawn within this bounding box. They spawn decently outside of it. So in our survival world, we have basically the canyon walls going kind of like where I just traced right here. Just a little bit inside of the regular bounding box. So let's turn it into hard real quick like we have on the server and see what happens. Okay, and as you see, there's already several pillagers spawning and dying, and we've already got several of them outside of the bounding box here. So let's do a tick warp real quick and see how many we would have in 1 hour. And so, yeah, they spawn and die pretty fast. So I'll be quiet for a second and let you just see how they go. All right, and just like that, quickly we have our QR code little box here that shows all the different spots pillagers have spawned. And we can see distinct lines indicating a square. So we can take the coordinates of this one and that grass block, and we'll be able to figure out exactly where we need to spawn proof. So let's quickly head back to our survival server and mark this out. All right, and with that, we have our two corners set. So our first one's here, very much outside of where we created our little box canyon in here. So we'll have to do something out here to make it where pillagers cannot spawn here, as well as on top of this little rim of the canyon. And our second corner is right there. So putting those together, we have a pretty large area we need to work together to spawn proof. So there are some pretty simple rules when it comes to how these guys can spawn. The first one being they're within the spawning area of a pillager outpost. Pretty simple. The second one, it has to have a skylight level of 7 or greater. Sorry, 7 or less, unless it's on grass or gravel. On those two, it can spawn anywhere. The third rule is that it has to have a block light level less than 8. So, that means we can either just light up the whole place, or we can do the fourth rule that says it has to be a full block. Meaning we can put stuff like paths, glass, we can put stairs, slabs, carpet. All those are good options for how we can stop them from spawning. But what I want to try and do is incorporate the anti-spawning or non-spawnable areas using builds. So, what I'm going to start off here is around the rim of this canyon. I am just going to build a series of shacks and see how we can do with that. A raider patrol spawned out there as well. So let's quickly just hop right to that. We'll probably put this in the form of a time lapse and just see how much we can spawn proof with just building. So enjoy the music and let's go. Well, there, real quickly, you saw me build up this little area right below me here. And well, if we turn around, we've done a little extra work on it. You can see we've added just a bunch of decorations, some paths and everything. But what's most important about all of it is that we turn on our little light overlay, there's nothing below 8 anywhere in here, which is one of the spawn requirements for these lovely guys who have been following us all day long. Almost like they want something, but I'm not quite sure what. Anyways, we went ahead and did that on the lower level around the entire little ring we built. So all down here on the very bottom, none of them can spawn anymore, which is great because the area I want to focus on next is where this guy is spawned, the top of the ring. So let's finish that up, and then I want to proceed right back into doing this and have that stretch across here. Maybe put a couple of bridges of them across here, and then the lower one just continue all the way around. That way, we can have the true Raider Coliseum feel I'm wanting to go for. So let's quickly hop to that. I'll bring you in with status updates as I do more and more there, but it won't be too hard, and I hope y'all enjoy it. I have some neat designs for some tents I want to put here that are cozy but will still conducive? Will still allow the viewer to have a beautiful view into the little fight arena we're building. So let's hop to that, and I'll bring y'all back in what feels like just a second. All right, there's the sun setting, but we finished up our first round of tents here with a very large, ever-growing fan base there. We move, they tend to move with us. It's kind of cool. But what we've done here is we just added simple little tents and a path all the way around. We're not big on safety here. If you fall off, you fall into the pit, and you're just another contender. Is how they look at it there. But pretty simple interior. You got a chair, a bed, and a little chest here, and you can stand in here out of the sun, or you can come over the edge and watch the fights going on in the middle. And it's pretty much how all of them work here. This one probably has a little bit better view because they don't have to even look over a ledge, but a little more dangerous. So now we're going to focus on this side over here. And I want to make this even more grand, that the people who have tents or even a couple of builds here are some of the more important people. Like, we have the less important in the gang down there, a medium importance up there, but over here we have their leaders and their main group are right here on this side. The heights, the tallest point, because you know, in a raider group, whoever has the high ground is the most important. Just ask Obi-Wan. Anyways, for now, I want to get to that, and then I want to do a couple more things back here in the rest of the heights on this plateau. So let's just quickly hop to it and see if our fan troop follows us over here. All right, we've made some massive progress on our little Coliseum area. So let's quickly go into our free cam and take a look at everything here. So we last saw we had just done this area here. And now we've detailed out this bottom, you put a ring of spikes to which have heads on them all around here. There are a couple that don't have some because there'll just be some times where there weren't a head on there, and that's okay. And then we've also done this upper area, which we have some bleacher seating here, bleacher over there, and then two sets of important people chairs where they have all the stuff they need around them, where they can get their drinks and food just right there without having to leave, and they can watch the fights all day. And then we added some more of the same style tents down here at the bottom. And so I believe now everywhere there's that torch, and that torch I need to get rid of. But I believe now everywhere other than on the floor down here is spawn proof to where no pillagers will spawn up there. And I'm going to check this by going AFK right up there just for a bit and checking to see if any spawned anywhere but down here. So that's what I'm going to do now, and I'll come back in just a sec. Well, I guess I forgot to address this big thing. I thought it would be neat to put just a big old trap in the middle to give a slight homage to the fact that at a pillager outpost, there's typically a golem in a cage. So we've done that. We've put some villagers in cages here and there. And then upside down over there, we have ourselves a zombie villager, which I felt like was appropriate all around here. And originally I'd put a villager there, but these lovely fellows can still shoot at him there. And so he died. I've placed a zombie villager there just to make it a little more interactive here. But I'm going to go back to that AFKing right up there and see if we have any spawn anywhere else. Because as of right now, I'm under the impression that I've taken care of every single spot along this little spawning space, which I can open up here and show y'all where it is. It's not necessarily this height, but it is everywhere within this box and then a little more vertical. But I think I've taken care of every single one of them. But we'll find out. I'll take off that torch, then I'll go AFK, and we'll see. Yeah, we'll see if we have any spawn outside the ring. So I'll talk to y'all in just 1 second. Alright, and it's the next day here, and if we're not falling down everywhere. And I've checked, and mobs don't really, or sorry, pillagers don't spawn up here at all. Throughout their whole area, we're all safe and sound there. I may have missed a couple nights sleep based on the amount of mobs around here. But that should mean we are all good, and we can call the parts we need to spawn proof done. And so what I did also do the other day is a couple more builds around here just to fill up some more of the area and show you the entire area that's going to be this pillager outpost. So it's going basically between these 3 towers. On this hill up here, we got some bigger houses. Up here's going to be a lot of smaller stuff. But we got some pretty large area, some good ambition of what we want to do. And I say what we do next is the part I'm most excited for is reforesting this area. So I have a couple of massive spruce trees I want to build all throughout here. And then for the rest of it, sprinkle in some smaller spruce trees. Give it that full in the middle of the woods of an island that's in a lake vibes. So without further ado, let's just build some of those trees. I'm probably going to do those this evening on a stream. And we'll build them up as tall as we can. And then it'll just be me putting in the little ones. And I'll bring y'all in right after all of that is done. So I'll talk to y'all again in a bit. Alright, well it's one stream later now and another night. And I've added a lot. We have multiple tall trees added all throughout here. And I do have more I want to do. But currently this is all the leaves I have. And can't do much more that wise. But this little structure here is what I want to talk about next. Was a genius and reminded me that maybe we should put some custom mushrooms in here. So we thought this hill was a good spot to build a little mushroom hut. So that is what he's working on here. And so another thing I'm now wanting to add throughout this land around where the trees are just going to be some mushroom blocks. And maybe that's going to be what entice these psychotic pillagers to come in here and set up base in the first place. But I think everything we have done looks amazing. And I'm really happy with what we've gotten done today. But I want to talk about what my next plans are. So we finished up these paths as well on stream. There's still a little more detailing we need to do here and there for them. But for the most parts, they are exactly where they need to be. And so we're going to use this, or well, I'm going to use this, as a layout for where we're going to put the rest of the buildings that go along with this little outpost. So we'll have some more buildings up here. We'll have some that stretch right along this forest edge. We'll have a couple in here. This is our little blacksmith, so we're going to build a little fight arena here. We'll have just a couple here. And then we will use these three guys to build probably the last of the big builds in here. And that's going to be a stable that's going to go right in this area here. So I'm just going to do that probably a little bit in between episodes, and then I'll bring y'all back from the tail end of it at the beginning of next episode. But so for now, let's just go in here and finish out what I want to do with the blacksmith, and I believe that will be everything. So come with me real quick, and we'll build ourselves a little combat area for these guys to train, either before they go into the Coliseum, or maybe it's for when they do raids outside of here. Who knows? I've seen these guys all around the world in little pillager parties. So let's get to building. All right, so starting off here, we've just reinforced this little area I marked out, and then we've gone ahead and laid down a mixture of coarse dirt, gravel, and path blocks. And so what I'm thinking to do here is, again, pay a little tribute or homage to the original outpost that was here by simply putting some of our little scarecrow targets right over here. And so we'll quickly add that right here, and I think these walls are going to, fences are going to connect. We might have to do something about that here in just a second. Yeah, let's move this one over, just one. It should be fine. Not that there's really an issue moving it anyways. Okay, that would be our archery range. We'll put targets there. And then I want to put a couple of little armor stand hooks on here to show that that's where our forge guy is making stuff. And then maybe we'll toss a couple more of these scarecrows around here. But I think that is going to do it for us today. It has been a fantastic time creating this environment. And next week, we're going to finish it off with some dug-in houses. Now, it's a little hard to explain, but essentially, I mean a house that's a couple blocks up top and mostly underground. So there's just going to be those dotted around to where a raider or two lives in there, and they just kind of dug it out themselves, built a haphazard little roof around it, and boom, that's it. So I hope y'all have enjoyed it. I hope it reminds y'all of what I'm going for here, which is a Raider Fallout 4, maybe a little bit of Borderlands vibe to it. So again, thank you very much, and I hope to see y'all next week. Bye, everyone.